I'm going to break a little bit from my usual format in these videos, as maybe you've heard. Whenever I make a video, it's because I'm triggered by something, and it's my response to that, and I realize that what I'm going through, maybe somebody else is going through it. So I figure make a video and let people talk about it or think about it on their own. And I usually avoid whatever the trigger is, but I don't really know how to talk about this without talking about the trigger. So this will be a little bit more personal than normal, and which also means it's probably going to be one of the videos that I drop really quickly. I've uploaded something like 115 videos on YouTube, and how many can you see? Because most of them I decide after the fact. Yeah, no. Let me pull that one. Anyway, so the point of this video is to talk about avoidant personality disorder and people who have them when they have to depend on other people. That seems like an oxymoron, because it more or less is. Avoidant people basically, well, there's two of them. There's the kinds of people who basically are completely dependent on their family. They stay home, they live with their parents, and they stay within that unit. And then it's a little different. It's almost like the parents are an extension of the person, so they don't really count as people, if that makes any kind of sense at all. I don't know. I'm sort of not going to make sense today, I don't think. Anyway, and then the other type of people try as much as possible to be completely independent and refuse to depend on anybody. Now, the reason for that, of course, is that, especially, growing up, the people you try to depend on, your family and friends, you have to be triggered as a child to get avoidance. You need to have the two parts. You need to have some sort of genetic predisposition, and then you need to have had some kind of traumatic experience that forces you to become avoidant. And actually, I was just reading Brene Brown's book, who said that the paraphrasing, the primary betrayal is for somebody who decides that you're not somebody they want to put any effort into spending time with them anymore. So, I mean, I'm going off track already. Anyway, so yeah, that's why people do not become dependent, is because they get emotionally abused and abandoned, and learn that people just, you can't depend on anybody. Maybe like one or two very specific individual people, and they usually also, unfortunately, abusive, because even if you say it's a partner or something, when you become an adult, if it's not your parents that you got your one dependent thing on, they usually, unfortunately, the reason that avoidant people hook up with these people on a long-term basis is because they treat them like somebody in their family did, like their parent did. So yeah. Anyway, this is way off track from what I want to talk about, because I'm avoiding talking about this morning, I had a medical condition come up that was pretty serious, but it's not going to kill me. Of course, I had the fabulous bittersweet, oh man, I have to go through all this, and don't even get an out for it. But anyway, that's sort of morbid humor. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to have to have things happen, but it's not going to affect me at all. I'm going to be just gravy. But it was pretty severe, so, had to take an ambulance trip this morning. which of course the entire time I'm thinking, I'm not worthy of this. Oh my God, you know, what if somebody's had a heart attack? What if there's been a car accident or something and I'm the one who's selfishly using the service? No. If I drive myself, I would have definitely had an accident, and then lots of people would have needed an ambulance. So, but I mean, I couldn't get my head wrapped around it. I couldn't accept that it was okay for me to depend on these medical professionals doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, that's what taxes pay for. You know, it's to set this situation up where they're trained, and then of course gonna pay for it anyway in the end. And I couldn't get my head around that I would be worthy of that. You know, and then I had to go to the ER, and I'm like, I was in some pretty severe pain, and I could not allow myself to take pain medicine at the hospital because I wasn't worthy, and because then I would be out of it, and I'd be even more dependent on other people. And that's crazy. That's horrible to think that way. And it goes to interpersonal relationships too. I mean, avoidant people, in my experience, I'm sure that there's other people that are maybe more healthy than the average person, but it's like when you're at your worst, you cut people out of your life and you stay trying to take care of yourself. It's like, you know, yeah, okay, I get the introversion part, believe me, that you want to be introverted, and give into that, and it feels like you're being, you know, taking care of yourself to give into your introverted impulses. And I truly don't completely believe that. I mean, oh yes, I'm not saying when you're down and depressed that you should be the life of the party. That's absolutely ridiculous. But I think it's a refusal to depend on anybody, to even try to be like nice or try to be, you know, supportive when you're really down. And I think that's because you think you're not worthy of it. So this is getting sort of a sad little video, because usually I try to come up with a reason, excuse, sort of a plan of action on how to go forward and to maybe make changes that can make whatever aspect of what I'm talking about better in your life. I don't think I can with this one, other than being aware. I mean, I suppose that's the first step. First step, be aware that that's what you're doing. But I don't know. I mean, obviously every human being has to depend on somebody else. I mean, even hermits that are truly off the grid and have no interaction with anybody else, that live by themselves in the wood, they had to be taught survival. There is no true feral people that never had any interaction with anybody else. Everybody is dependent on other people. Avoidant people hate that feeling because they can't trust that they can actually depend on somebody. They don't believe that somebody will be there for them. They don't think they're worthy of it. And they think that as soon as they start to depend on somebody, that's going to turn around and bite them. And they'll leave. That they'll be rejected. That if they're not completely perfect in whatever form the avoidant feels is their version of perfection, if they somehow step out of those bounds, that they're going to be called out and rejected for it. And I wish people didn't have to do that. I wish it was okay to accept a doctor's help when you're sick and not feel like you're a burden. You know, I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't paying these people. You know, when I'm terribly sad, I don't really feel like I can talk to people. My therapist, because I pay her, but it's a huge hurdle to talk to people because I feel like I'm a burden. I feel like I'm going to be rejected. I feel like they're going to have anything else on the planet, any other person on the planet that they would rather spend their time with than me. And it gets worse when I actually really, I mean, I can't even choke out the word need it. But when I need it, that's when it seems like it could never be there. Yeah, this is sort of a useless video. Other than maybe confirming what somebody else might be thinking. But I don't really have solutions other than be aware and try and give yourself a break and, you know, try to have a new habit and find people that are trustworthy and will stick by you either because they're decent people or because you're paying them, and let yourself need and depend on something a little bit when you need it. When you need it, give it a shot.